Hello everyone, and today we are back for another Loomian Legacy Top 10 video. And today I'm going to be talking about my top 10 favorite PvP Loomians in all of Loomian Legacy. These are the Loomians that I use in PvP that I enjoy using the most. This is a very personal list, and everyone's list will be different. So, with that out of the way, let's head right onto this list. Number 10 on this list is going to be Brope, aka Sumo Beetle. Sumo Beetle is a bug brawler type that has really solid base stats. 72 in the health, 80 in the energy, 110 in the melee attack, 106 melee defense, 101 range defense, and 55 speed. The biggest flaw of Sumo Beetle is that it has a really low speed stat, and its melee attack stat isn't the highest, but it does have some very fancy tricks up its sleeve. It has the very powerful Guru ability, which increases the strength of your weak moves, which doesn't sound too strong until you realize that a lot of Sumo Beetle's strongest moves are its weaker moves. Basically, moves that have 70 base power or less. And there are 3 very powerful priority moves in Counter Poise, Counter Stance, and Quick Punch, which are all 70 base power or less. You can combine this with like a specialty gloves, and this thing can hit really hard. You can even use something like Health Amulet Bulk Up and set up on Luminami, because even though you don't actually do much to Luminami, Luminami doesn't actually do much to you either, because you actually have a really good bulk. And while its defensive typing is kind of garbage, if you use something like a restrictive armor or restrictive shield, it can actually live hits so well that I've even seen it live quad effective hits before, which is pretty insane. It doesn't have the highest bulk in the world, but with its defense stats being really high, it actually makes its bulk so high with a restrictive item, making it really hard to KO. It also has a healing move in Parasitize, and it actually has an interesting secret ability in Double Strike. While Double Strike is usually weaker than Guru, there's actually a very interesting strat in Double Battles where you can actually use Double Strike's Sumo Beetle with Ferroblast. And this is the only Loomian in the game where you can heal your partner back to full health, because Ferroblast is attacked twice on your partner, meaning that your partner goes back to full HP. It's not that handy, it's more of a tech set than anything, but still, it's a really cool set that no other Loomian in the game can do. Guru Sumo Beetle is one of the hardest Loomians in the game to use because Counter Stance and Counter Poise is very tricky. You need to use them at the right time, and if you use them on a setup move, the move is disabled. So I usually run a Counter Stance or Counter Poise while combining it with a Quick Punch, so I have both of those moves. And it also has the very powerful Double Beat, which is only 40 base power but hits twice, meaning that both of its attacks are boosted by Guru. Sumo Beetle's a very solid Loomian, very tricky Loomian to use, and I definitely enjoy using it. It's a Loomian that I've never really used that much in the past, but I used a lot more recently, and I really enjoy using it. I made a team dedicated for it, and it's absolutely popped off. I love using Sumo Beetle, and I'm definitely going to be using it more in the future, and that's why it's number 10 on this list. Number 9 on this list is going to be Wikiwiki. A lot of people don't like Wikiwiki, mainly because of how bulky it is, and it's kind of like a do-nothing stall Loomian, but that's kind of the reason why I like Wikiwiki. Its base stats are really insane. 162 health, which is the second highest health stat out of any Loomian in the game. 125 energy. Its attack stats suck. 49 melee attack and 62 range attack is garbage. Its bulk is okay. 70 in melee defense and 70 in range defense. Really good when you combine it with its high health stat. And 47 speed, which, doesn't really matter too much. The thing that makes Wikiwiki really good is that it's a really good support Loomian. It's the only Loomian that has Herbal Remedy, which makes you prepare a remedy that boosts the opposing Loomian's HP. On the next turn, you or an ally which takes your place will recover 50% of their maximum HP. Wikiwiki doesn't just heal your teammates, though. It's also a Loomian that can remove hazards with Mudslide, Sap Plant for it to gain HP back, has Photosynthesis to heal itself, has Poison to poison stall opposing Loomians, and it even has moves like Muck Blast to hit opposing plant types. This is really good because Wikiwiki is actually an anti-plant type Loomian, because it has the Noxious Weeds ability as its secret ability. It makes it so it's completely immune to plant type attacks, and while there aren't very powerful plant types right now, there are very powerful plant types like Tahtab and Sea Drake who could be very dangerous if you're not ready for it. The thing with Wikiwiki is that it is a very flawed Loomian. It is completely provoke bait ever since it lost the compliant ability. It is really provoke bait. And it's also a Loomian that really doesn't do that much damage, even if it hits Loomians for super effective hits. But the thing is, the reason why I like using Wikiwiki is because it's a Loomian that can heal your teammates. And it's allowed me to use different strategies that I never used before. Like, I've used Restrictive Shield Sunimars because I know I can reliably switch it in when I have Wikiwiki healing it up. I also used Restrictive Shield Wraith, which is very strong as well. And I was able to run a lot of different sets and a lot of different defensive orientated teams because of what Wikiwiki can do with Herbal Remedy. It may be a very passive Loomian, but it has a lot of tricks up its sleeve, and it's probably the best support Loomian in all of Loomian Legacy. And that's why it deserves number 9 on this list. Number 8 on this list is going to be Soul Necta. I really like Soul Necta. Soul Necta is a really cool roamer. It's a bug light type, and its base stats are all really good. 111 in the health, 81 energy, 96 melee attack, 80 melee defense, 129 range attack, 82 range defense, and 86 speed. It's probably the most balanced Loomian out of any Loomian in the game, which is very odd because usually roamers have like busted base stats. But the thing that makes Soul Necta really good is its really huge move pool. It has probably one of the most deepest move pools out of any Loomian in the game. It's also the only Loomian in the game that has Magnify and Lightspeed Ray. The only other Loomian that I think has that is Valkyrie. But the problem with Valkyrie is that it really can't hit plant types for super effective damage, while Soul Necta has the powerful Feral Blast, which can actually hit plant types for super effective damage. It also has Fire Breath to hit metal types for super effective damage, and it even has Blaze Rush to actually increase its speed. You could even run something like a defensive utility Soul Necta as well. Like, you could use Luster Leak to heal its HP back. You could use Bulk Up or Peace of Mind to make it bulkier and make it hit harder. You have Rejuvenate to heal your HP back. It even has, like, Wonder Herb. You can run Wonder Herb on this guy as well. There's a lot of different sets you could run on this as well. Like, this even has priority and counterpoise if you really want to run it. It's actually the original counterpoise Loomian. Like, if you don't have a Soul Necta, you actually cannot get counterpoise. So, that's cool. Hopefully you'll have a Soul Necta already, because I think that's the only way to get counterpoise in the game. The reason why I like Soul Necta is that there's a lot of different sets you could actually run on Soul Necta, but it's one of the more balanced Loomians. It's a Loomian that it has enough flaws within its toolkits where it's not completely overpowered, but it's also a Loomian that's also very strong, especially its Lightspeed Ray Magnify set. One of the most powerful sets in the game, and even all of its other sets can be very useful at times as well. It's a Loomian that's actually pretty good in this meta because it actually hits Lachette for quad effective damage with both Feral Blast and Fire Breath, and you can pretty much run a coverage move to hit any critical Loomian you need it to be. Its defensive typing is really good, and Nightlight's a very strong ability, making it so you're a light type that actually doesn't take that much damage from dark type attacks, which again makes Soul Necta unique compared to any other Loomian in the game. Very powerful Loomian, very good roamer, but it's also a roamer that isn't completely broken. It's a fair and balanced roamer, which is very rare when it comes to Loomian Legacy PvP Loomians, and that's why it belongs at number 8 on the list. Number 7 on this list is going to be one of the more common Loomians in the metagame, and it's Tyrex. Tyrex is a Loomian that has been probably one of the most used Loomians of all time. Really good base stats, 89 in the health, 94 in the energy, 111 melee attack, 102 melee defense. It even has 72 range attack, even though it doesn't really use its range attacks too much. 83 range defense and 74 speed. It's a Loomian that really doesn't have a single weakness in its base stats. And it has some very powerful moves. It's a Loomian that could actually hit Obsidragon, Venilin, and Tundralin for all super effective damage. It's also a Loomian that can hit Super Stratosaur and Luminami for super effective damage with Thunder Chomp. It also has Teardown, so it's actually one of the more reliable hazard removers in the game. And with Power Jaw, it actually hits really hard. Despite only having 111 melee attack, Power Jaw makes it so your biting attacks deal 50% more damage, and its most powerful moves are Thunder Chomp and Vice Jaws, which is really strong on a Loomian like Tyrex. The thing that makes Tyrex so good is that it's in Metal and Earth type, which is actually really good defensively. You are immune to Zip Zap, so you're a Metal type that does not take any electric type damage at all unless you're using Royal Decree Joltube. And this is a Loomian that is just very flexible. It's a Loomian that you can pretty much use in any way, and it will do really well. Tyrex is a Loomian that fits on your team really well. Like, if you wanted to remove hazards, add a Tyrex. If you want a Zip Zap immunity, add Tyrex. You can add this as a Specialty Boots, Specialty Gloves, Power Cuffs, Health Amulet, Restrictive Shield, Restrictive Armor, Terrifying, Power Jaw, Overcloak, Sharpen. You can even use this as setup if you want. Like, this thing is just very strong, and the only time that Tyrex was ever annoying is when it had Feistjaw Scapegoat, because in the past, Feistjaws was kind of like teased as an attacking move, where you couldn't click the same move twice, but that Tyrex set has been long nerfed. That's been nerfed for like over 18 months now, and every other metagame, Tyrex has never been annoying. It's always been a Loomian that I found to be fair, but it's also been a Loomian that I found very strong and very flexible. It's a Loomian that helps the Loomian Legacy metagame more than it hurts it. And that's why I love Tyrex as a PvP Loomian, despite having a very high usage rate stat. It's a lot better. I would rather have Tyrex have a high usage rate compared to some of the other Loomians that are up there. So it definitely belongs at number 7 on this list. You definitely deserve to spot Tyrex. Good job. Number 6 on this list is going to be a very controversial pick in Zulong, because this is probably one of the easiest Loomians in the game to use. Like, Zulong is the electric ancient type starter that is really strong. 78 in the health, 88 in the energy, 92 melee attack, 60 melee defense, 109 range attack, 79 range defense, and 119 speed. It's one of the fastest Loomians in all of Loomian Legacy, especially if you run very nimble specialty goggles. Makes it so it actually hits really hard. And you can even run something like very smart specialty boots. And the reason why very smart specialty boots could actually work is because it has double pivot. It has Zip Zap pivot and Ancient Roar pivot, meaning that you can't really block Zulong's moves unless you're using, like, I don't know, Staunch Tyrex, which I don't even think it has Staunch anymore. So Zulong could just spam its pivot moves, and it can result in a lot of momentum. Despite Zulong only having 109 range attack, it doesn't have to do a lot of damage in order to be very dangerous, because it's really dangerous in the form of momentum. It gets a free attack off of Zip Zap or Ancient Roar, and it pivots into a Loomian that has a way better matchup. It also has Elemental Burst, which just makes Zulong hit really hard, and it has really good coverage moves and Chili Chomp to hit Gargolem, and it has Blaze Chomp to hit Loomians like Tyrex and Lachette for super effective damage. There's also other moves you can run on Zulong, like you can run moves like Stun. You have even like Stretch, so you can really run Stretch. There's even very smart Jolt Zulongs, but very smart specialty goggles Jolt. I've seen that Zulong see a couple bit of usage as well. And Thunderstrike's a very powerful stab move as well. Two very good abilities, has Brute Force. Brute Force makes it so it actually deals more damage to the Awakening, because a lot of its attacking moves, Elemental Burst and Thunderstrike, get boosted by Brute Force because they have secondary effects, which makes Zulong actually hit really hard. And if you want to use Awakening, Zip Zap's better, because Zip Zap actually does more damage on an Awakening Zulong compared to Zip Zap doing damage on a Brute Force. So, yeah, Zulong is very strong. Probably one of the best offensive threats in the game, despite not dealing most damage. Zulong has kind of fallen off because it did actually used to have Fire Breath, and it did recently lose it. And a lot of people were really happy when this thing lost Fire Breath because it was very strong with it. But even then, I still think it's a Loomian that's very fun to use because of its ability to generate momentum. You can't really block its momentum. Like, even the best counter in Zulong, in El Iguana, still has to be careful with it Ancient Roaring out into a better threat. And that's why Zulong is on this list. Like, it fits to my playstyle really well. I'm a Loomian Legacy trainer that always has like 2 or 3 pivot Loomians on my team, and Zulong just fits that role really well. So it definitely belongs at number 6 on this list. We're into our top 5 now, and number 5 on this list is the very powerful Cosmiore. Cosmiore is an ancient mind type that actually used to be one of the most hated Loomians in the game, but let's just say that hatred for Cosmiore Unleashed has died down a lot. It's one of the stronger Loomians in the game. 99 in the health, 105 energy, 134 melee attack, 105 melee defense, 68 range defense, and 96 speed. It's a Loomian that can pretty much do anything. It also has the coverage to pretty much hit anything as well. Meteor Smash and Judgment can hit a lot of Loomians with its stab. Slapdown can hit Luminami and also get rid of items, which makes Cosmiore Unleashed really good. Like, Slapdown is just a high value move. And it even has Fire Slam to actually hit metal types for super effective damage as well. It also has one of the most powerful abilities in the game in Cosmic Pressure. While you're on the battlefield, the effects caused by weather are nullified, and this also increases your ancient type attacks by 25%. In Ranked Season 3, it actually had the very powerful Outburst, and you could just run Brawny, Specialty Gloves, Outburst, Cosmiore, and that thing was just catching one-shots on pretty much any Loomian in the game. Even without Outburst, Meteor Smash can still deal a lot of damage. It's still a very strong Loomian, even with the loss of Outburst. And it also just has a lot of variety within its moves as well, like a lot of high-value moves. Like, Judgment has a chance to make flinch the opposing Loomian, which can be very high impact. Slapdown can get rid of items, and Fire Slam can even get that burn chance, which all of Cosmiore's moves have very good variants, which is very good. That doesn't even mention that it even has other sets you can use. You can use Dissipate if you want to pivot. You have Slumber, you have Bulk Up. You have other sets you can run as well. Frost Breath as well if you want to lower the opposing Loomian speed stat. That'll probably be really good in doubles, especially the Idiosyncratic set. And yeah, Cosmiore Unleashed is just a very strong Loomian. The reason why it is on this list and why it's one of my favorite Loomians, because it's one of the only Loomians that can deal with weather, and weather is a very annoying mechanic to go through right now, especially fog teams. Fog teams are very annoying, and Cosmiore is really good at actually dealing with that. That doesn't even mention that I feel like despite having a lot of the coverage options to hit other types, I feel like it's balanced more fairly compared to some of the other Loomians, because despite having Slapdown to deal with Luminami and Fire Slam to deal with metal types, they are very low base power attacks, meaning that they can never usually OHKO a metal type, or never usually OHKO a Luminami with Slapdown. So it feels relatively fair and not as overpowered when it's using its coverage moves. So, despite being very strong on paper, I do think it's just barely balanced. It's strong enough to be very powerful, but not overpowered enough to be banned. And it's a very fun Loomian that I used a lot, and it's a very hard-hitting Loomian as well. So, it definitely belongs on this list. Number 4 on this list is one of the most powerful Loomians in the game, and Dragodine. And I'm not just talking about any old Dragodine set here. I'm talking about Soul Burst Dragodine. Normal Dragodines are already pretty good. 96 in the health, 92 in the energy, 77 melee defense, 135 range attack, 82 speed, well, 82 range defense, and 70 speed. Its speed stat is relatively low, and its normal ability is actually really good. Its staunch ability makes it so its stats cannot be lowered, meaning that a common hazard removing move of Teardown actually cannot be used. So, Dragodine can actually be used really well on Banana Split teams, because one of the most common ways to get rid of Banana Split was either Mudslide and Teardown, and since Dragodine is an air type, it's immune to both Mudslide and Teardown, which is really nice. But the biggest thing that makes Soul Burst Dragodine so strong is its Soul Burst form. It turns into its Soul Burst, it gains a lot of range attack. I think it has 145 range attack and 95 speed, which is really good. It's fast. Not fast enough to outspeed a lot of offensive threat, but it outspeeds a lot of the walls, which is insane. And if you use this under Strong Gust or Banana Split, it actually outspeeds everything in the game. It also has the Remorsefulness ability, which makes it so every time it gets a knockout, it gets a melee and range attack increase, which is just insane. So you can even run mixed Soul Burst Dragodine, it'll be very powerful. And this even counts your own teammates in doubles. So if you use Soul Burst Dragodine in doubles, and you KO your own teammate, you also get a Remorsefulness boost as well. It's actually the most broken Loomian in all of doubles, and I feel like if there's ever a doubles format, Soul Burst Dragodine should always be banned from it. But even then, in singles, it's still very dangerous in singles as well, because after a Peace of Mind, it actually has really good range bulk, and you could snowball a sweep very easily. It's one of the easiest Loomians in the game to get a sweep with, but it's also not as annoying compared to some of the other sweepers, like Draco Spam Dorgo, or Gargolem Attack, or Soul Burst Imperior. Those Loomians are a lot faster, and they're a lot more annoying to deal with. At least with Dragodine, you know, it can get hit by Icicle Traps, and at least, you know, needs to get a KO before it gets going. It's a lot more rewarding to get a Soul Burst Dragodine sweep compared to some of the other offensive threats in the game. Not to mention that you need a lot of setup to get it going. You need to sacrifice a Loomian to get Banana Split up. You need to get Strong Gust up, which is actually relatively hard to set up sometimes. Despite that, though, Soul Burst Dragodine is an absolute monster, and it's very satisfying when you actually get a sweep with it. Even when you get swept by it, you're just like, okay, I was not prepared for Soul Burst Dragodine in the team preview. That's why I lost to it. It isn't because it hit a critical Draco Beam and got up to +2 like it used to do. It actually used to do that, and it was really annoying. But now that it has Staunch, it definitely belongs at number 4 on this list. Number 3 on this list is going to be Tahtab. Tahtab actually used to be one of my most hated Loomians in the game in all of 2022 because I could never switch into this Loomian. This thing hit really hard, and it always destroyed my teams. But 3 years later, I used Tahtab on almost every single team. Plant Brawler type starter, hits really hard, 75 in the health, 88 in the energy, 126 melee attack, and 104 speed. This is a Loomian with 126 melee attack, 104 speed, and an ability that boosted stat moves even more. Timber Thrash is also just one of the most powerful moves in the game. 120 base power move that makes it recoil itself, but it doesn't matter on a Loomian like Tahtab because it hits so hard and it's so fast. With very brawny specialty boots, you outspeed everything, and then you just OHKO Loomians with Timber Thrash. You also have Jungle Jutsu, which is a 90 base power move, and it's a very high impact move because it has a better chance at dealing with critical hits, which is really nice as well. Plant Brawler is actually really good offensively. The only types that it can't hit are toxic types. But Tahtab also has really good 3rd and 4th move options. It has Poison, which can be used to poison Sober's Your Snack or Sober's Crackalola, which is really nice. And it also has other 4th move options. It has Wonder Herb to get rid of status conditions. It also has Bulk Up to set up, has Barter to barter specialty items away. It also has Mudslide to remove hazards, and it has Splitting Headache to hit for Venusaur for super effective damage. That is actually really good on its Thriving Pace set, because Thriving Pace makes it so you don't even have to use a specialty item, but you do lose a little bit of attacking stat with it. Tahtab is really good as well, because since it's also a plant type, it makes it so it's actually immune to Flash and Flay, which is really good when Loomians like Luminami are everywhere in this meta. And yeah, Tahtab has always been a Loomian that's been able to clutch out a lot of ed games with me. You don't even have to run like specialty boots for it to be good. You could run specialty gloves with very nimble. You could run bulk up. You could run barter. You could run thriving pace. Thriving pace with like a thunder orb. That could work too. Like, it's a very strong Loomian. It can be very flexible on any offensive team you need it as well. It's a very strong Loomian, and despite not being very good in this meta, it's still a Loomian I use a lot, and it's probably one of my favorite Loomians I have used in the last couple years. So it definitely belongs in the top 3 version of this list, but it does fall short of the top 2. So yeah, Tahtab, one of my favorite PvP Loomians in the entire game. It definitely deserves a spot. Number 2 on this list is going to be Infernix. Nobody's going to be shocked. If anyone has watched a Joshua Star 77 PvP video, expect Infernix to be on that team. That's how flexible this Loomian is. 84 in the health, 95 in the energy, 58 melee defense, which isn't that good, 110 ranged attack, 117 ranged defense, and 89 speed. The thing that makes Infernix so good is that its base stats are built in a way where you can pretty much use Infernix whatever you want it to be. You could use any Infernix set and it would work. It has the Hotfoot offensive set, which makes it one of the best Heat Wave sweepers in the game. Has very powerful moves in Flare Blast, Draco Beam, Jet Stream, Mud Spatter, Trip Root. Trip Root it will have in the future to actually hit Luminami. You could set up a Magnify with Hotfoot and Pyro Infernix, and this thing can absolutely destroy teams offensively. But that's actually not the best Infernix set, as the best Infernix set is actually the Power Napper Infernix set. You know, that ability that Luminami is very annoying with. Infernix also has an ability, but unlike Luminami, who is just freaking bulky to the point where it lives every single hit in the game, Infernix is a lot more balanced because it actually does have a weakness in its melee side, meaning it isn't a complete dead weight. You can kind of patch that up, though, with a move like Raging Flame. It can actually spread status conditions in Raging Flame to actually stun melee attackers if need be. This is also one of the most reliable hazard removers in the game, because not only does Burn Up remove hazards, but it also boosts Infernix's ranged attack as well. So you can actually use a defensive Infernix offensively. Like, that's the thing that makes Infernix so well, because if I could use any Infernix set to fit a specific role. I could use a defensive offensive Infernix. I could use an offensive defensive one. I could use whatever the heck I want on Infernix, and it would work. It also has Dissipate. Ever since it got Dissipate, it actually became one of the better Loomians in the game. Because Dissipate always goes last, so Luminami clicks Flash and Flee first, you soak the hit, and then you Dissipate out on Luminami, and you have the better matchup. And also, this Loomian will get buffed going into Year 2 Season 1, as it will actually gain Trip Root to actually hit Luminami. Which that is also a huge buff for it as well. There's a lot of different moves you can run on Infernix. It's one of the most flexible Loomians in the game, and it's one of my favorite Loomians to use in the game as well. I always have fun with using Infernix. It's probably one of my favorite Loomians that I've ever used in all of Loomian Legacy, and it definitely deserves number 2 on this list. Before we get to my favorite PvP Loomian of all time, let's first talk about the honorable mentions. Honorable mention number 1 is actually going to be Scampy, a pre-evolved Loomian. Pure Water type Loomian with Drop of Youth, has the Trash Armor ability, Battering Ram, Body Crash, Brace, Accelerate, very strong, very high melee defense, and it was probably the best pre-evolved Loomian in the entire game for a while. It's not as good now because mainly Garbantis is a better Battering Ram and Body Crash Loomian right now, but Scampy is still a very dangerous Loomian that you still got to be careful with. There's also Terraclaw. I was planning on actually adding Terraclaw on the list. I was planning on actually adding this on number 10, but I decided to put Sumo Beetle on it. Terraclaw is probably my favorite version of the Raid Boss Loomian. It's a Loomian that can pretty much live hits on both sides. Despite being a pure bug type, it actually has very powerful moves and Vital Jab to hit metal types. And it has Baneful Bash to hit Luminami, which is nice. After a bulk up, basically Terraclaw never dies after a bulk up, because it has its Slick Shell ability, which actually doubles its base range defense. It's not just its base range defense, too. It's doubling its total range defense. So the higher your total range defense is, the bulkier Terraclaw is. One bulk up, Terraclaw wins. You can't defeat it. Let's move on. Wendelin. I actually really like Wendelin. There's two different sets you can use with it. You have Fade Away Hit and Runner. I really love my Hit and Runners, but a set I actually love a lot more is the Gloomy Specialty Goggles set. The Gloomy Wendelin is actually one of the hardest Loomians I've ever used in the game. Hardest hitting Loomians. Gloomy Specialty Goggles boosted Phantom Blast under Fog is probably one of the hardest hitting Loomians I've ever used in the game. So, Wendelin, a lot of different sets you can use. Very flexible Loomian. I really like using it. Definitely deserves an honorable mention. Zeppelin, I don't know why I like using Zeppelin, I mean. Turbulent ability makes it so Resonate actually hits really hard. Has Gust that can remove hazards. Has Perch. Has Provoke. Has Landslide. Has Spite. Lots of flexible move options, and its stats are actually very good. Zeppelin is actually a Loomian I used a lot in the past, but I don't use it as much anymore. But even when I am forced to use Zeppelin, it's still a Loomian that pops off. I still enjoy using it. It definitely deserves an honorable mention. And then, of course, we have Luminami. As much as I hate Luminami, as much as everyone hates Luminami, we can't deny the fact that Luminami makes our showcase videos a lot easier. It's one of the best Loomians in the game. It lives every single hit, but at the very least, Luminami doesn't hog. It's not a selfish Loomian. It's a Loomian that actually makes every other Loomian better, which is something. It's not a selfish Loomian, and it makes every other Loomian on your team do better. Does it do it too well? Yes, absolutely. But when you're actually using Luminami, it's so reliable, and you can pretty much fit it on every single team. So, Luminami is the kind of Loomian you love using, but hate facing. So, Luminami is at least an honorable mention, even though it could also easily be on the top 10 most hated PvP Loomians list as well. So, yeah, those are the honorable mentions. Let's head to number 1. My favorite PvP Loomian of all time is Geklow. I don't think everyone should be shocked. Geklow is my favorite PvP Loomian in all of Loomian Legacy. I need to explain a little bit. So, Geklow is a pre-evolved Loomian. It's also my channel avatar. Its base stats really aren't that good. 50 in the health, 55 in the energy, 50 melee attack, 68 range attack, 50 range defense, and 67 speed. And I know that people might consider this a joke. It kinda is. It kinda is a joke. And Eliguana could also be up there on this list too, but the thing is, Geklow is actually one of the best Little Cup Loomians in the game. Has 2 really good abilities, and Prismatic makes it so it's immune to Flash and Flee, and it boosts its light-type attacks. And it also has Lightning Rod, which, if hit by an electric-type attack, it actually boosts its range attack stat by +1, which is really nice. Has a lot of very good moves. Has Double Pivot and Zip Zap and Flash and Flee. Has Mudslide to remove hazards. It also has Landslide to hit really hard as well. It has I don't think it has Magnify. I think it has Energize, so you can actually set up an Energize, so it can actually get range defense increase as well. Has Rejuvenate. And, of course, it also has Thunder Blast. If it wasn't for Thunderstorm's Thunder Blast Geklow, I probably wouldn't even be talking about it on the list. I've had so much fun using Thunder Blast Geklow, and I'm definitely planning on using this to reach Ace for Year 2 Season 1. I know that this might be a stretch. I know that Geklow might not be the best Loomian, but it's probably one of the most fun PvP Loomians I've used. I mean, look at the guy. Look at the guy. It's Geklow. It's the channel avatar. Of course, it's going to be my favorite PvP Loomian of all time. And here it is, Geklow, my favorite PvP Loomian of all time. I know that no one would ever have Geklow even near their list. It probably shouldn't even be used in PvP, but come on. I have a Geklow shirt. I have a Geklow avatar on my YouTube channel. Come on. We gotta give the respect that Geklow deserves. And it definitely deserves to be number 1 on the list. Not to mention that that Thunder Blast set actually does hit really hard, and it actually is something that you do got to be careful about if you're not careful. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed my top 10 favorite PvP Loomians in all of Loomian Legacy. What are some Loomians that I missed? Please tell me in the comments below. And what are y'all top 5 favorite PvP Loomians that y'all have ever used? Please tell me in the comments below. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see y'all all later. Bye-bye!